Hello everybody, welcome to Color Positive Movies. My name is Joe. In this video we're going to talk about The Exorcist, and specifically the cross scene. Alright, we're going to get a little bit of an overview of the movie real fast, then we'll get right into the scene. This will contain some graphic language and images, because it's a pretty shocking scene, so let's get rolling. So the movie's about this young girl being possessed and the mother figuring out what to do. At first it was going to all these different doctors, all these different tests, and she's at wit's end, so she finally goes to the Catholic Church to seek help. So The Exorcist is considered, one of the scariest films ever made. I think most people, when they think of The Exorcist, they think of Linda Blair, the little girl. Her name's Reagan in the movie. The 360 head spin, and then the green vomit, the pea soup. They're pretty much the most well-known scenes, but there's a scene that happens before that I think is probably the most shocking and disturbing that I've yet have seen in movies, and I've seen nothing like it since. And I'll set it up, and we'll get right into it right now. All right, this scene starts with the mother, Ellen Burstyn, downstairs. She starts hearing her daughter screaming, then she starts going run up the stairs. And there's also another voice, this deep, horrible voice in the room too. So she goes through her daughter's bedroom door, and there's all these things flying around the room. Everything that was in the room is kind of flying in the air. And her daughter's laying on the bed with a crucifix in her hand, jamming it between her legs, yelling, "Let Jesus fuck you." So she's basically masturbating with this crucifix. There's blood all over her white gown around her groin. There's blood on her face. The mom goes crazy. She tries to wrestle the crucifix away from her daughter, and her daughter grabs her head and forces her face into her groin, saying, "Lick me, lick me," and then just violently shoves her across the room. So the mom gets thrown against the wall. She's on the ground just with this hard face. Her face is covered in blood. Furniture is now moving around, and she goes through the door. A chair is kind of, moves towards the door and locks her in. She's trying to open the door, and the daughter, she's sitting on the bed now, kind of her back to the mom's looking back at the daughter sitting with her back to her mother, and her head spins 180 degrees and says, "Do you know what your cunting daughter did?" And she's referring to the director who had fallen out the window and went down those steps and died out front of their house. All right, this sequence, it's hard to watch. When I first saw it, I was just stunned that this was actually in a movie. It's disturbing, it's violent, it's horrifying. So let's recap it. All right, so William Peter Blatty wrote the novel, and he also wrote the screenplay, which, by the way, he won an Academy Award for. So he sits down with the director, William Friedkin, and they decide, let's keep the scene in. Let's keep the scene of the young girl masturbating, not only masturbating with a crucifix, and jamming it between her legs, saying, "Let Jesus fuck me." And believe it or not, it's a toned-down version of what actually happens in this book. And if that wasn't enough, let's shove the mom's face into her groin, yelling, "Lick me." I mean, I think you're going to be hard-pressed to find a scene, especially those minutes of film, that comes close to it. So when this movie was first released, this was a scene that really put people over the top. Sitting in a theater, and this sequence happens, just people went crazy. People left the theater. Other people wanted this movie banned, pulled out of the theater. There was a lot of craziness. And this is one of the reasons why a lot of people will not watch this film again, or won't even watch it at all. And I think the impact, if you watch that scene again, it kind of set back and look at really what's going on. It's quite disturbing. I think some movies just shock you just to shock you, or they use it as a way to sell their film or movie, like the most shocking since this, or the most shocking since that, and nothing really ever holds up. The Exorcist is the standard. A lot of movies came after it, some pretty good, but nothing compares to this. It just doesn't to this day. So I'm going to throw up a link here to another video I talk about just one scene. If you've seen the movie Annihilation, it's the bear scene. So if you'd like to check that out, it's going to come up right around here. Also, I'll throw up the Color Positive Movie logo. Hit it and subscribe. We're always looking for subscribers. And until next time.